Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to you.
And no, not that one.
Not that.
Take me to the place where I come from. The only place where I really belong. Take me 'cause this voyage seems so long. Back to you. Ooh. Back to you.
We've hit our 1-year anniversary with Brinkley.
And being full-time.
And being full-time, yeah. So when we went to pick Wanda up in Omaha, our intention was actually to keep our house and just go on the road for a while and then eventually sell the house. We didn't think that we would be selling it last summer. And we didn't think we would never sleep in it again.
Right.
So we picked the Brinkley up and drove to Omaha, picked up Wanda, drove her back to North Carolina, and never actually stayed in the house again.
That's kind of profound.
Yeah. So we thought that we would give you some things that we liked better about Wanda and things that we liked better about Addie. So you're talking about a 2025 3970, G3970 was what Wanda was. And Addie is a 2026 G4170.
They're both similar,
Yep.
but there are some very significant differences.
Right. They both have two full bathrooms. The upstairs is the same on both of them. The garage is about a foot smaller. It's either 6 inches or a foot smaller. The length of the entire coach is 18 inches longer.
Right.
Right. So it's kind of a wash when you look at length. Most of the features, right? And they become very similar. So why was it important to us to upgrade to this system?
Right.
Right? So let's start with what we really liked about Wanda.
So I think 3 things that we miss about Wanda, right? Is that the way to think about it, you think?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Number 1,
The U-shaped sofa.
the U-shaped sofa.
Yeah.
It was a pain to put in. We were getting ready to depart or land the other day, and we said, "Boy, it really is nice not having that U-shaped sofa and having to fold it and spindle it in order to get it in." But at the same time, it was really nice to sit and watch TV with the girls and the rest of the family that way.
Yeah.
Right.
It became a big mosh pit at night for us where we could all snuggle and be together. And it wasn't the most comfortable sofa in the world.
It wasn't.
It just worked really well for our family.
Right.
So I surprisingly, I mean, if I was going to order that particular coach again, I'd still order a U-shaped sofa.
Right. Okay, number 2.
Number 2.
Dishwasher.
Oh, the thing that I really liked about the way the kitchen was set up is that to the left of the kitchen sink, there was a space that you could install a dishwasher, and you could install things like the Paykel Fiscal dishwasher, which we can't install in this one because of the handle. So we ended up with the dishwasher underneath our sink, which works fine. And ours is still working really well. It's just time's going to tell if it's going to work or if we're going to end up with a different dishwasher.
Yeah. The third thing that we really liked about the 3970 was that it had an app to do the leveler and tell you how level you were or weren't before you unhooked, and you could have it be remote. We ended up having to go back and go out and buy a substitute for that, and it works pretty well. Matter of fact, there's some features that we
do like on it.
That are like on it, but that was just so nice having that be there.
Well, and like even with the new ones, sometimes I have to hand you my phone out the window, and he has to
Right.
walk back to the rig to get it to read. So, and I never had to do that with one control. If one control came up, the leveler would come up. Now, only if one control would come up, not fans of one control.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's good segue. Let's go ahead and segue directly into the three
What-
things from Wanda that we don't miss.
And
Right.
let's be honest, it's probably going to end up being more than three things that we like about Addie. Yeah, I do not miss that pantry.
Right.
I mean, I want to put that at the top. I don't miss it.
I love the design. I love the way it. I like the concept of
Yeah.
it.
I mean, it was one of the reasons we bought the rig because it was so cool. And then using it for
Just-
for the 9 months we used it,
It was just really hard.
we never got it to work correctly. And I don't really have faith that it would have ever worked correctly.
Right.
So now, and that being said, I am sure Brinkley has a way to make it work. I just don't have faith in it because we couldn't get ours to work,
Right.
and none of the fixes that they had us do changed that situation for us or made that situation any better. For
Yeah,
us.
I think it's a neat concept, but it
Yeah.
probably needs some redesign.
Yeah, and our rig took some shocks going up the Alcan, so I don't think that hurt it, but yeah.
Right. So the other thing, so number 2 on the list of things we don't miss is one control. Right.
Other than the leveler, yeah, I don't miss that app at all.
Yeah, it was so slow and so difficult. The 1/3, 2/3, 3/3 gauges on the tanks. Right. We now have tanks that are read in 10%.
And are pretty darn accurate.
That are pretty accurate. Right. That's really, really nice. So I certainly don't miss the one control app.
Yeah.
So the third thing that I think is
I don't miss the suspension.
yes.
I mean, we got the upgraded suspension. It was better than what came on the thing. We got the 8K axles. So it was better, but let me tell you, it is not independent suspension. It is not independent suspension.
Yeah.
I will never pull another rig this size without IS.
Right. And the other thing is that, granted, we were going up the Alcan, we towed a lot, and we towed a lot a day over questionable roads. And there are all of these horror stories that you see and you know that they're true, right? Wild RV Life lost a leaf spring.
yeah.
We had on our way up to Alaska, there were 2 other people who followed us through Indiana a couple hours later that had major suspension problems on the side
lost
of the road.
wet bolts, leaf springs, suspension parts,
Right.
bump
So
stops, which we lost
so
one, but
there were lots there are lots of horror stories about the suspension. So being
Yeah.
the type of person I am, I was constantly under the rig checking the torques, right? I had to go find and I called Lippert and Brinkley and Moride and everybody and put together a combination list of what the suspension bolts were, right? I was constantly greasing the wet bolts because we were traveling enough that
Yeah.
it was 2 or 3 weeks sometimes between 3,000 miles,
We
right?
went-
So
Yeah.
I was having to be underneath the suspension every time we stopped almost to check for torque values and tightness, and then I was having to find ways of doing the wet bolts every 3 to 5 weeks because of how much we were traveling, right? And the new suspension is,
yeah.
I don't have to.
And we had Wanda for just under 10 months. It may have been just over 10 months because we got her in March. We traded her in December. And we put 15,000 miles on her. So we towed a lot.
Right.
And we had what I would consider one suspension axle wheel issue in 15,000 miles. And the only issue that we had is we had a bump stop come off somewhere, we don't know where, I'm not going to say it didn't stress us out because it did, but knowing what we know now, we wouldn't have been stressed about it.
Right.
It was the unknown for us at that moment.
Right. But still,
15,000 miles.
I checked the suspension in North Carolina before we went to Brinkley meetup number 2. I was under the rig. I checked everything. I tightened all the bolts, checked all the torques, and 300 miles later, one of the stops had. There's a different name for them. I forget what it is.
No, Sumo Springs.
Sumo
Springs.
Springs. Right. So
Bump
one of the
stocks on tracks.
right.
Sumo
One of the Sumo Springs came off after I had gone through and checked the suspension, which probably means I missed a step, but being underneath the rig in gravel and trying to tighten those, I'm glad that I don't have to do it. I know that there are some suspension checks I have to make, but it's much simpler with independent suspension.
Well, and just going over bumps in the road. I mean, that's the one thing that we'll go over something, we'll go, whoa, I didn't even feel that, right? Because we know we would have had to slow down and we would have really felt it when we were pulling Wanda. And with Addie, we still don't go fast over things that we don't think are going to be smooth because we don't want to cause issues, but we don't feel that pullback dolphining feeling that we were getting all the time with Wanda every time we went on and off of a bridge.
Right.
Right? So,
Right.
yeah, those are things I don't miss.
Right.
So what do we like better in Addie? What upgrades do we like in Addie? We'll put it that way.
Yeah, the upgrades in Addie, right? Firefly.
We do like, for the most part, like Firefly. There are some
Pros and cons
to it, and there are some ways that it is crippled in the current install that we're hoping we can figure out a way around. But yeah, we like Firefly so far.
Right.
I like the new front cap that is RGB. You can set it to different colors, but it also will flash in whatever direction you're turning. So if you're making a right-hand turn, the whole right side of the coach will actually flash, as will the growl, the lights on the front.
So
that's a safety thing. And then there are lights on the back of the coach too. The brake lights go all the way up the sides. I mean, if you know the difference between a 2025 and a 2026, you can spot it on the road because they have these big LED brake lights that go up the sides of the back of the G classes.
and if you're towing at night with the black background on the lift gate, right?
It means they can see you.
It's a great safety thing to have those lights be much larger. So those are one of the things I really
and
like.
the new roof.
Right, the new solid fiberglass roof or whatever
it is,
I
right?
don't
But the
know
new
that
roof
it's
is
fiberglass.
nice. It's not bubbled like the other one was. Ours had little teeny weeny bubbles in it, which weren't a problem. Off gassing does that. This new one doesn't do that at all. So those are the things that we like. And then the biggest reason that we love our 4170 is the living room setup, the kitchen and living room. It is night and day difference.
Right. We can, for us in the way we organize our day and the level of organization we have in our day-to-day lives, this kitchen works so much better for us than what the other one did.
It
right?
does. It just feels more like home.
It feels more like home, right?
Yeah.
It's less like camping. So,
But that's just what we wanted to share with you, was what we like and what what changes we decided to make, and kind of give you a little more insight on why we made this big change, because we know it's a big change. Most people buy one Brinkley, we're already on our second, and we just went over 1 year with Brinkley. So if you like our videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Comment. Tell us what you like about your rig and what you don't, whether or not it's a Brinkley. We think that other brands have great things too. So tell us what you like about your rig. I'd be interested to know.
if you've bought another rig, did you when you bought it for a new feature, did you end up really liking the feature, or is there a feature that you bought it for that you then found out you didn't like and you wish you hadn't left it? We have no regrets.
We have no regrets doing the upgrade. No regrets with buying Wanda. No regrets with taking her to Alaska.
Right.
no regrets with buying Addie. You know, it's so far this has been, all of these decisions have been the right decision for us when we made them.
Yep. And I think it's walk time.
I think they're telling us that it's time for puppy time.
So thanks for watching.
Thanks.
See you in the next one.
Bye.
I've been so many places, I've seen them all with open eyes. Seen islands, open spaces, Serengeti sun slowly rise.